Oh boy, what a week it's been, huh? Since the last we gathered to do such a thing. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch, YouTube, Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And if you're unfamiliar with this format, this is my weekly attempt at creating an hour-long vlog, blog, news show in which we talk almost exclusively about gaming. We broadcast it live here on Twitch TV. And we do it once a week, on Wednesday or Thursday night. We may not do it next week because it's Christmas time. But it's an opportunity for me to come in and talk to you guys and have you guys talk back to me. Talk about a lot of topics that are going on in the gaming industry. That goes on about life in general and things along that lines. Now, as you guys know, something new has happened here on the Twitch. There is now a 60-second delay guaranteed. So it's going to make it a little more difficult to do the show the way we've done it before. It's going to make it a little difficult for me to directly talk to you and directly get responses from you. But please know I am going to be reading everything you type and everything you say, and hopefully I'll get to see it as you say it, which is always a lot of fun. I did put up a little copyright box this week over my YouTube logo, because it's definitely one of the topics we're going to be talking about today, but I don't want to bore you with it, so we'll talk about it a little later, but that's what that's there for. That's why we have that. This is also the space where I would like to put little things in which I'm talking about Nintendo. I would like to put a nice little Nintendo logo here. And if I'm talking about a game, I'd like to put a little game logo here, but not anymore in these dark, twisted ages of YouTube. Bad times. I would like to start talking about what I'm playing this week. Just so you guys know, I did finally get an opportunity to start playing Tearaway. I hope this doesn't get me copyrighted flagged. As you can see, we're playing a bit of Tearaway. Oh, you can hear the music. If you can hear the music, I'm going to jail. I'm going to copyright jail. I've been having a lot of trouble with my Vita. And so someone recommended that I get one of these awesome grips, and I was going to get just the grips, but I got the grips that had the protective case on it, $20, and it really does make it feel like a much more a holdable device. I'm really glad I did it. Whoever it is that recommended that to me, I really appreciate it. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of my 3DS XL as well, because I do have the big hands, and I do love the feel of the XL. My biggest complaint about the Vita right now isn't Tearaway. It's a phenomenal game, and if you have a Vita, you really don't want to miss it. You absolutely want to have it. It is one of the best games I have ever played. It's very creative. It's very unique. It's a lot of fun to do, and the world is very stylized. The gameplay is unique. The mechanics are unique. There's so many good things to say about that game. I think it's a must play if you have a Vita. I don't know if it's worth buying a Vita for. If you have a PlayStation 4, and you can do the multi-cross-play stuff like that, it's probably worth it. A lot of fun. And it's funny, if you what's in my 3DS right now is actually Zelda, which has been in there for a few weeks, and I really haven't had an opportunity to play it. I really want to, but as you guys know, the holiday season is upon us. My family, my new family, my old family, I don't really celebrate anything with them, but my new family celebrates Christmas, so we will be traveling to the north for a short period of time for Christmas. My roommate will be staying here, I think, which kind of sucks, but I wish we were celebrating with him, kind of, but I really look forward to celebrating with my family, traveling up to the north, and as we travel, and while I'm there, I'm hoping to get some play in with my mobile games here on my portable systems. So I've been trying to concentrate on PC stuff. I got a little bit back into Hearthstone this week. The patch is interesting. I really like the ranking system. I haven't really been able to play as much as I would like, and I have been losing a lot lately, and I don't know if people have gotten better at it. I don't know if the cards that I tend to rely on have gotten worse, but I'm on a huge losing streak, so it's really not been that enjoyable. And of course, we know Starbound is in beta. We talked about it a lot last week. It's a early access game, which I've vlogged about earlier in this week. You got to be careful of that early access. It's a good thing, but it won't stay good forever. But it's been a lot of fun. So that's primarily what I've been playing. On the consoles, Resogun is just a game I can't stop playing. I did purchase Doki Doki Universe, and it is bizarre. It's as if someone had created Scribblenauts, but the someone that created it was an insane asylums filled with inmates. I mean, it's absolutely batshit crazy. And at some point, I'm flying my lumberjack robot around the universe on my flying poop to solve quests for a toilet, and I'm just like, what? At $15 price tag, it's definitely worth a lot of messing around with. It's cross-buy to your Vita, your PlayStation 3, your PlayStation 4. And on Xbox this week, I decided to really throw myself at Rise. And so I started my campaign over and started messing around. And I got about an hour and a half into it before I got bored again. And I don't know why that game is not compelling to me. I think it's because you fight the same enemies over and over and over again in exactly the same way. But I'm hoping that the storyline will grip me and maybe I'll beat it before we head out to travel for Christmas. So let's see what else. Nintendo did a new Direct. Now, a lot of us have been a little upset about that. Someone just told me to fix my collar, so I will finally. Nintendo finally did a new Direct. And if you guys don't know, the way Nintendo delivers this news is not through other news sources. Doesn't expect IGN or Kotaku or anyone else to promote you. But what they do is they do create a series called Nintendo Direct. And Nintendo Direct will directly show you exactly what they want you to know. So we had big news this week. We had a really big news this week. The first of which is Rosalina being a playable character in Smash, and she's going to use Luna, the little star, as one of her fighting mechanics. If you haven't seen that trailer, I highly recommend you check it out. I am a huge fan of Smash Brothers, and I hope that you are too. And we're really hoping that we'll get it'll be a phenomenal game. I'm expecting it to be just incredible. What else? They showed a new game called Nintendo Remix, and this is basically a collection of ROM hacks. So a lot of the 8-bit era games, Balloon Fighters on there, Donkey Kong Jr., Super Mario Brothers, a bunch of stuff. And basically it's a bunch of time trials in which you try to do a variety of things in those games. Metroid is noticeably absent, and I was a little frustrated by that. Legend of Zelda, notably absent. Really surprising to see these games that I was hoping to be in the remix that just aren't. But the ones that are in there at $15, it's a lot of fun. And a lot of you kids, I say this, you guys have Dark Souls, so you know what hard is like. You played Meat Boy, you played Binding of Isaac, you know what hard is. But these 8-bit games are just that hard. Like, they are frustratingly difficult to play. And if you haven't played some of them, I highly recommend that you do. A lot of modern games seem to be, to me, increasingly easier as you go. Forza is a game in which driving is automated unless you turn it off. Rise is a fairly easy game with a nice big hit bar. You know, Dead or Alive, you know, all these games. So you can't lose at Doki Doki Universe. You know, you can't. It's impossible to lose. You can lose at Mario. You can lose at Super Mario Brothers. You can lose. So these 8-bit games, the way that they have remixed them, have been devastatingly difficult. Me and my friend Jason played tonight for about an hour, and it was some of that old school screaming at the top of your lungs as you try to do impossible jumps on a timed mission with auto run enabled on Mario Brothers, or these remixes where you're doing Donkey Kong Jr., which is already a disturbingly difficult game in which the board continuously disappears over and over, reappears for a brief moment and disappears again. I've never seen anything like it, and it's a very unique spin. If you have a Wii U, I highly recommend it at $14.99. It's a really cool game. Hyrule Warriors is a game that a lot of people seem to be excited about, which is also shown at the Nintendo Direct. If you haven't seen that trailer, I'll tell you a little bit about it now. It's basically Dynasty Warriors, only with Link and Legend of Zelda style monsters to fight. And to me, it looks, again, kind of looks like a ROM hack, you know? I'm hoping that it'll turn out to be good, and I'm excited because I think it would be a lot of fun to play, but it's not the next level Legend of Zelda that I want to play. I want a legitimate game built around Legend of Zelda world and getting some genuine joy out of Legend of Zelda. So I'll play it, I'll buy it, I'll play it. But I'm looking forward to the next Legend of Zelda actual game for the Wii U. Inventory management right on the pad. That's going to sell, a lot of units, and it's something that I'm very eager to do. The new Kirby game looks okay. Some of the other games they put, they're all pretty standard stuff. They're not going to Donkey Kong Freeze. Don't forget Cranky Kong. Don't forget Cranky Kong. Cranky Kong is coming to town. Oh, boy. So, let's see. Let's get right into the copyright news. Now, I have noticed, and this is my genuine opinion, a lot of the viewers out there seem to be increasingly weary of the whole copyright debacle, and for good reason, because there's clearly no end in sight. Things continue to be more and more and more screwed up, and as we have to deal with the system, the more we realize exactly how imperfect it is. And so the very first thing I want to say about this is I have been completely unaffected. I have not got a single copyright flag. I have not gotten, literally, it's been just a complete and total who cares for me. And somebody asked me, several people in fact asked me, Boogie, why are you complaining about this? Why are you complaining about this when it doesn't affect you? Why would you bite the hand that feeds you? And the answer to that is fairly simple, because it does affect me. This to me is a very disconcerting thing. It is affecting the lives of people I genuinely love, and it's another huge mistake that YouTube is making, and I really can't sit by and watch it happen. That's why we have to talk about this for just 1 minute. So if you are unaware of how absurd this system is, and how broken that it is, the creator of the game VVVVV. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the game, it's a small indie game. The guy who coded it, wrote the music, created the game, published the game, he himself had his video removed from YouTube, unmonetized, even though he is the copyright holder. And this is not the only example of this. It has happened several other times. I cannot currently give you the exact answers, but I promise you the people in the comments and the chat can give you other examples. But to see someone get their own game unmonetized by YouTube is absurd. It's bizarre. Now, at the end of the day, we could all argue that YouTube can determine what they want to monetize and what they don't. They can determine that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. If tomorrow they do not want to monetize videos with the word Fred in them, they don't want to monetize videos about potato chips, they don't want to monetize fat people, I don't want to monetize fat people, we don't want to give money to fat people. That's their prerogative. They can do that. The problem with that is people named Fred could take them to court. The people named fat people could take them to court. The potato chip manufacturers can take them to court. And there's a very real chance that the gaming industry here is going to realize that there's lost revenue here. Not just lost revenue from people who play their games and promoting those games for them, but for the fact that they can't even publish on YouTube right now. And it's just bizarre. It's just mind-boggling how broken this system is. So it's something that you need to continue to be aware of, and I know that you're getting exhausted talking about it. I know that you're exhausted hearing about it. But we can't let this one roll over. Look, we all rolled over. Let's be entirely honest with you. 98% of us rolled over when it came to Google+. We did. We're like, the system isn't that bad. I'll make a Google+. It's fine. The system is not that broken. They'll get it fixed. And they did. And we complained, but they fixed it. And now we're not complaining anymore. You need to continue to complain until the copyright situation is fixed. You have to complain and make it abundantly aware that this system is broken. You're going to have to watch the videos in which we complain about it until it's fixed. Simple, 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 simple. And I'm sorry to ask you to do that. I'm sorry to ask you to get involved. I'm sorry to ask you to have to deal with that crap. I'm sorry to ask you to have to worry about this right here. Look at that. Really, is this, come on. Come on. Nobody wants this. Look at the screen right now. Look at this. Nobody wants this. This is bad for everyone. It's especially bad when a publisher can't publish his own copyrighted material on YouTube. Come on. All right, that's enough about that. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to what's going on. I do want to take just a quick moment to talk about YouTube in non-gaming light. One of my favorite YouTubers, Bo Burnham, created... one of my favorite YouTubers by the name of Bo Burnham paid out of pocket to create his own comedy special and so that he could put the full hour of it up on YouTube. You can find it at youtube.com/Bo Burnham. And if you haven't watched it yet, it's called What? It's deep, it's dark, it's twisted, it's wonderful. I highly recommend you check it out. I think there's something there for you to learn, and if you don't learn anything, it's still very, very, very entertaining. So... good stuff. Let's see. What else was it we were going to talk about this week? I think we covered some of our biggest issues. Someone wants me to do a shout out to the Magic YouTube community. I do love Magic the Gathering, as you guys know. I haven't been able to play very much over the holidays, as it tends to be a very frustrating case for me. I wish that I had more time to create... to go to my Friday Night Magic and have a lot of fun. Just not something that easily is done when you're doing your Christmas shopping and you're messing around with that kind of stuff. But I do adore Magic the Gathering. If you guys are unfamiliar with Magic the Gathering, it's a game that you can play paper or digital. The digital version, Magic the Gathering Online, is very poor, but Duels of the Planeswalkers is really good. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys check out Duels of the Planeswalker on Steam or PlayStation 4 or it's not PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, iPad, Android, phenomenal. But that leads me to the other topic that I absolutely wanted to talk to you about. The holiday sale is here once again. SteamPower.com or Steam. If you're a PC gamer, even if you have a laptop that can only run some low-end indie games, good news. It's time to save a couple bucks and get some great games. I always like to buy something for myself this time of year, and it's a great way to do it, especially if you get a Steam gift card. Now is a good time to buy. Game discounts as much as 25, 75, 80% in some cases. There's some games on the front page right now at 80%, and the Steam sale should last a couple of weeks. I'm not sure what day they're planning to end it. But as always, I do want to talk about this survival guide for purchasing things during a Steam sale. So say there's a game you want to buy on Steam. Say, for example, you want to purchase, the game Faster Than Light, which is currently on sale, by the way, one of my favorite games, one of my favorite indie games of 2013. Faster Than Light normally retails at $9.99. So say you want to purchase it, and right now you look on the page, and it's at 20% off. That's probably not the lowest that price will go. If it is not a daily deal, don't buy it. Unless it is currently a flash sale. If it's not on flash sale, and it's not on the daily sale, or it's not currently the community choice, you should not buy it yet. Wait until it reaches its lowest point. Now, you can always wait till the last day of the sale, and they'll let you know when the last day of the sale is. If you're going to buy it at 80%, buy it then. But if you had bought Faster Than Light earlier this morning at only 20% off, you would have spent, with 33% off, you would have paid $6.66. Right now, as it's community choice, as we're recording this, you could pay $3.39. So again, that's $3 more, which is more than enough during a Steam winter sale to be able to purchase a good game. So if you're new to PC gaming, if you're new to Steam, if you're new to a holiday sale on Steam, this is a great way to remember to do this. And one more thing that you should also remember is that Amazon.com also does sales at this time of year. Every time Steam does a sale, Amazon's doing a sale as well. Reddit.com/r/game deals will keep you ahead of the game and make sure that you know when you're getting the best Steam sales. That also means we should talk about the Xbox One awesome holiday sale and the PlayStation 3 holiday sale, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 holiday sales. Both systems are doing amazing sales. I believe Borderlands 2 was $2.50 on the Xbox One the other day. Some of the games on these systems in their stores are dirt cheap right now. So even if you're not a PC gamer, Steam has pressured those companies into feeling like they need to do holiday sales as well. So you should definitely log in and take a look and see if you can get a few bucks off of the games that you've been waiting to play. It's so funny. I have this problem, and it's the worst first world problem in the world, I think. Sorry about that. I had to type a little something there. If you when you're a kid and you're a gamer, one of the things you'll have you'll have the need to play video games, but not the means. You'll have all the time in the world, and you have a great desire to play video games. You just simply want to have a way to acquire the games. And when you reach middle adulthood, you'll have less time, you'll have more money, and you still have that great desire to play games. As you become an adult, you'll have the money to be able to buy the things you want, and never the time to enjoy them. It's such a true statement. And here I am with all these great big piles of games that I want to play, and I just don't have time. It's depressing. Someone did mention the Steam Box in the chat, and I do want to talk about the Steam Box for just a minute. Absolutely, Steam Box is something that I think we're all eager to do. Now, I have a PC that I retired that I am going to put the Steam OS on to beta test it after the new year, just to get an idea of what it can do, and so that I can talk to you about it educatedly and intelligently. A handful of people have managed to get a Steam Box, and a lot of people are kind of confused. Is a Steam Box a PC? Well, to an extent. Just like the Xbox One, just like the PlayStation 4, they use PC parts. These are PC parts that you could buy right off the shelf, put them together, and create a gaming device. But what it comes down to is operating system. Now, the Xbox One clearly has its own operating system that's very Kinect-centric, has the cool Windows, has the cool pinning system. The PlayStation 4 has its awesome OS2, that famous system that we're all used to with the little line and you sort through it, and all the great social features there, and the ability to put your games in little squares. Steam OS will have its own OS, whereas a PC generally runs Windows, or of course you can get a Mac OS if you want, or of course you can get Linux for your PC, and that's what Steam OS is based off of. It's based off the Linux computer language. One of the best parts about it is that it is based off of that. I personally would rather have a Windows machine hooked up to my TV, but I'm going to try Steam OS, the Linux version. The downside to that, the upside to that, is it's free. Linux is free to develop with, and SteamOS is free. He'll give it away to anybody. You can download it and install it on any system you want. It's awesome. Anybody can install it and then sell the machine that they put it on. And that's what you're seeing right now at iBuyPower. That's what you're seeing at all these different sites that are coming up with new Steam boxes. The downside is not a lot of games, a good number of games, but a lot of games that you want to play, AAA titles, are not coded to work in Linux. And that's really, really frustrating because I have this huge Steam library and there's a large number of games that I want to play, but I can't play them when I install SteamOS. Now, I believe that Gabe believes that a lot of developers are going to start developing for Linux to get those extra sales on the SteamOS, and the more people that buy Steam boxes, the more of them that they get online. If you got a million of them, 2 million, 3 million, you get that number of people with Steam boxes at home. People are going to start coding for Linux so that those games can be there. And I don't really know how difficult that is to do. Because I'm certainly not a computer programmer, but it's something that, and Linux is not a computer language, as someone pointed out. Yes, I apologize for misspeaking there. It is an operating system, however. But it really comes down to, I want the Steam OS to succeed. I want Steam boxes to be a real thing. I want them to have retail spots in every mall in America, every Walmart, every Target. I really, really want that to happen. I just don't know if it will. Well, we'll see. But that's the whole thing about PC versus console, PC versus console, PC versus console. When it comes to consoles are ultimately a restricted version of what a PC can do. It's the same hardware, but without all the freedom of Windows or all the freedom of Mac OS. A little less freedom there. But when you have a console, you basically have an OS that's very restrictive. And so that's basically what SteamOS is attempting to do, is trying to take away all those confusing options from people who don't know how to make those choices. I don't know enough about PCs to be able to do it. So... anyway, let's get back on track. Sorry. 1 second here. We do have a good number of new subscribers tonight. I have seen 3 or 4 subscriptions, and I haven't been able to catch all the names because I've been too busy focusing on stuff. But I will try to do a welcome at the end of this. As you guys know, we do film this on twitch.tv, and we got some 600 people, I think. Well, let me take a look and make sure. Yep, 600 people here watching as we go. And you can support me here by subscribing on Twitch. It costs you $5. Or, of course, you can go over to youtube.com/boogie988 and follow me there, which is where I think a majority, 50, 60, 70,000 people will see this. But it is fun to record it here on Twitch so that we can actually talk to people. So, good stuff. Geez. I had a couple more topics prepared. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on in my personal life, by the way. I played some Tearaway tonight in the hospital because my wife was at the ER after a car crash today. She was a part of a 5-car collision on 540 on her way to work this morning. And so it's been a heck of a day. I just put her to bed with a bit of a sleep aid, a little bit of melatonin, so that she could get some real rest, and I could come in here and record this, get my work done for the day, and have a little fun talking to you guys. But people look at you weird when you're playing Tearaway in an emergency room because there are people bleeding, and there are people having heart attacks, and you're sitting there poking your fingers into the back of your OS as it makes, or into the back of your Vita as it makes silly sounds. But no, she is okay. She walked away from it, literally walked away from it. She's doing pretty good, but she's in a lot of pain. So hopefully she'll be all right tomorrow. I'm here to take care of her. But we learned a very important life lesson today, and that's life is very fragile. And I hope you guys remember that. Hope you guys think about that all the time. Because you never know. You never know when your card is coming up to the top. You never know when you are on your way out. So take care. Be careful of yourself. So lucky that she walked away from it. Walking Dead 2, the Telltale Game, did launch. And Spoiler free, we're not going to talk about any spoiler stuff here. It was a rough launch, and we all give Telltale a bit of a pass when it comes to the stuff that they do. But their heavy-handed DRM is a little frustrating, and it certainly caused launch day to be fairly frustrating for everyone involved. So, at the end of the day, I haven't got to play it yet. It's a game that I want to play. Just launched on Steam 2 days ago. It just launched on PlayStation today. And it's a game that I'm eager to play. Do love me some zombies. Did love me the first game, even though, by the way, for the record, I didn't finish it before it got spoiled for me. And now that it did get spoiled for me, I've never finished it. However, it's a game that I definitely am eager to play if they can get it up and running comfortably. I don't know if that'll be the case. 1 second here. So let's talk about the Twitch TV 60-second delay. Man, does it piss me off. Now, as you guys know, one of the things I like to do here on Twitch, and I keep thinking about taking the show back to YouTube, for the record. One of the things that I liked about doing the show on Twitch was the fact that I could instantly directly talk to people as we recorded the show. Now we're at a 60-second delay. It's 60 seconds before I say anything, and then you guys have a chance to respond to it. So it's difficult for me to ask you a question directly. It's impossible for me to directly answer a question. Twitch TV is really frustrating. Now, the reason they did this is because they have unprecedented growth, and that growth has created quite the growing problems. And because of that growing problems, one of the things they needed to do to encourage stability was to create the 60-second delay. The downside is, of course, and God help us for this, it's just as laggy as it's ever been. And so I hear a lot of people tonight complaining, and I don't know if we're going to see, I don't know if we're going to get to see this system actually be able to output this video in a watchable condition for YouTube. This episode may not even show up on YouTube. So DayZ. Everybody wants me to talk about DayZ. All right, we'll talk about DayZ. You're not going to like what I have to say. DayZ has been not so well received. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with DayZ, I don't know how you are, but if you are unfamiliar, DayZ was originally a mod for the game called Arma 2, and it was constantly in development, and as it was constantly in development, a lot of people would buy Arma 2 to get the mod to play the game. And it's basically a zombie survival game in which you're just as afraid of zombies as you are of other people. So, long story short, you'll get killed by other people. DayZ did launch in early access game mode on Steam this week. And God help us. It's a perfect example of what I worry about when it comes to early access gaming. Now, in its early stage right now, DayZ is not very interesting to play. It's a little frustrating. It's a little boring. And somebody says at least it's better than WarZ. What isn't? But it's in alpha. It's an alpha. So we have reached this era where you can spend $30 for the alpha of a game. Now, when I say it's a game, it's now a standalone, no longer a mod for Arma 2. This is the standalone version, and it's nowhere near as developed as the mod was. So DayZ is now crazy frustrating because for $30 you get access to a very incomplete alpha that's buggy and frustrating to play and makes a lot of people really unhappy. $30. Now, I'm all for early access gaming. I'm all for giving your money to a company that you believe in. There is a game out there called War for the Overworld, which had a Kickstarter. And then after the Kickstarter, they did get it greenlit on Steam. And after getting it greenlit on Steam, you can now get early access to it. The problem is the early access sucks. It's not very fun. This game has been in development for a year. It went live on Steam on January 15th. We're now almost to January 15th, and War for the Overworld is still not a complete game. It's a game that had a Kickstarter. It then also allowed early access, so the developers have the opportunity here to hire some people and get a game out. And obviously we don't want the game rushed. I'm not asking you to rush the game. I'm asking you to use the money that you've earned to pay people to help you finish the game. A year later, War of the Overworld is still not a complete game. It's still not very fun. What's the incentive? What's the incentive of completing the game once you got the Kickstarter money and then you created a beta build, that people then bought? What's the incentive of finishing the game? And that's what scares me about this. DayZ is in open development, and it's going to continue to be in open development, and that's good. And a pay-to-play a beta just doesn't make sense to me. You should be testing a game for free. And if you want to make a donation to their donation to their PayPal, okay, that's great. That's your decision. But to be able to buy early access and get a disappointing version of the game is really, really frustrating. And Archangel X3 says the incentive is more money. They're not going to make more money. They're not going to make more money by completing the game because they've already sold the game to most of the interested parties via early access. And as more companies and more developers decide to access more early access, the more and more this is often going to happen. We're going to have less sales. We're going to have less investments. We're going to have less completed games. We're going to have this huge Steam section that's filled with incomplete games that people are going to end up buying into. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy that can even happen. And it breaks my heart. And the worst part about this is, and I hate attacking Microsoft 3-4 times a week. I feel like that's all I ever do. But we'll do it anyway. We're going to talk about Microsoft one more time. If you look at, not Microsoft. Jesus, I'm sorry. I did not mean to Microsoft. Say Microsoft. Microsoft's games have been relatively complete. If you look at EA's recent offerings, Battlefield 4, which was clearly an incomplete game, SimCity, which was clearly an incomplete game, these games are hitting the shelf. Diablo 3, which, by the way, was an incomplete game. These games are hitting the shelf on an incomplete level, and we're paying for that beta. When early access gaming becomes the norm, all we're going to get is early access games over and over and over and over again. If we continue to pay for games that are not finished, and I got to tell you something, you think this is bad, when they start selling early access to Call of Duty, next year's Call of Duty, via Xbox, via PlayStation 4, so that you can play fucking 3 maps for $60, and then buy DLC before it's ever tested and released, that is hell. That is the definition of actual fucking hell to me. Okay, well, not really. I guess burning in hell forever while watching my loved ones suffer would be hell, but that's pretty close. That would actually be really, really close to me. So, what do you do? What do you do? EA recently came out and said that they do not want to be worst gaming company in the world anymore. And I think that's great. And I know some people at EA, and I think they watch my stuff sometimes, so I want to talk directly to my friends at EA. You don't want to be voted worst company in the world anymore. Okay? And you have done some great stuff. The Humble Bundle you guys did, and you donated all the proceeds to charity, that is awesome. You've done some good stuff. Okay? Here's what you haven't done. You haven't started publishing finished and good high-quality games. You haven't returned your games to steampowered.com, where the only way I can access them is through Origin. And I don't mind Origin, but I don't like it. I want the consumer option. Be pro-consumer. Create finished products that people love to play. Okay? Peggle 2. Peggle 2 is a perfect example of the game that I'm talking about. Peggle 2 is now available on your Xbox One, and it will soon be available on other systems. Right now, it's Xbox One exclusive. And I paid $11.99 for Peggle 2, and I played that game for about 3 hours, and I realized something. There are no microtransactions. There are no upsells. There's no way to buy extra character skins. There's no way to buy extra levels. There's no way to buy any extra bullshit. The game is complete. I can't boost my score by spending in-game gold. The game is good and complete and fun to play and enjoyable. More of that. If you don't want to be considered the worst company in the world, more of that. Less Battlefield 4, less SimCity, more of that. And by the way, don't make me eat my fucking words. Because I saw at the bottom of the page, I saw a little coming soon over a shopping cart. And if it's an expansion, hey, $10 more gets you 220 more levels, 50 more levels, gets you 6 new characters, gets you all kinds of stuff. If that's what it is, I'll buy it and I'll have a big smile on my face. If it's this Plants vs. Zombies 2 stuff, which was one of the games I was most excited about, and I did enjoy, I played extensively, but the game was kind of wrecked by pay to play and pay to win. If that's what Peggle 2 turns into, you're going to break my heart. Speaking of which, one of the games that I am most eager to play, specifically on my Xbox One, Garden Warfare. You guys excited for Garden Warfare? If you're unfamiliar with Garden Warfare, it's Plants vs. Zombies in this awesome mode in which you can basically do tower defense kind of stuff and do shooter kind of stuff. And I believe it's like 16 players versus 16 players. And it just looks great. It looks fun. I can't wait to play it. If you guys over there at EA want to win my favor again, call me. Send me that Garden Warfare because I want to start playing right here, right now. That's my kind of game. Can't wait to play it. It's eventually coming to PC. I'll play it there too. I'll buy it twice. I'll buy it 3 times. I don't give a damn. If it's good, I'll keep buying it. But I'll tell you what. For 99 cents, you can reload your Plants ammo. For $2, you can respawn 10% faster every time you die. For $5, you can gain access to this plant or this zombie. If that happens, I don't know that I could ever love you again. And if it does, you will get my vote for worst company in the world once again. No, you won't. Bank of America will get my vote for worst company in the world. And to be honest with you, some people might say it could be Google this year. I hope not. I don't think it will be. For every bad thing they've done, there's been some really good stuff too. But they're one of the few companies that stood up to the NSA. You can't argue with that. So, Project Spark got mentioned by I Embarrass You. How you doing? Welcome to the Sub Club. Eat fresh. Project Spark is one of those games that I am very interested in. If you're unfamiliar with this, Project Spark is a game that is also a game design set set. So you can design a game that other people can play through the Project Spark engine. And I was very excited about this. So excited about it. And I'm not as excited about it anymore because, as it turns out, the Windows version is available on 8.1 only. Now, I don't know for sure if it's 8.1 only, but that's what Major Nelson has said. And if that's the case, man, is that disappointing to me. Because I really want to play Project Spark. I really want to build games inside Project Spark. The problem is every PC in my house has Windows 7 and is going to remain Windows 7. I'm not a huge Windows 8.1 fan. As we talked about last week, to the chagrin of several people in here. 8.1 is not a system I want to install. I like Windows 7. I like my system the way it is. So, I want me some Project Spark, Major Nelson. Give me that Windows 7 version. And Geoffric, once again, he's the gentleman we spoke with last night, continues to encourage me to get 8.1. If I build a new PC, I'll try 8.1 once again, but I'm not a big fan. It's a good OS, it's just not for me. I'll get the Xbox One version. I will do that when the time finally comes, but we will see. What about the rumor that DRM still exists on Xbox One? Says Russell9542. Well, if you're unfamiliar with the situation, this is a very interesting thing that happened this week. There was a Killer Instinct tournament in which a lot of people brought their Xbox Ones so that they could play Killer Instinct live together in the room all at the same time. And they were all not connected to the internet. And since Killer Instinct does not have a physical copy of the game, it's digital only, as it turns out, Killer Instinct, at least, is a game that will do a 24-hour check to make sure you're allowed to own that game and to play it. So, since, I guess maybe because it's an artifact of one of the older games, maybe it's something to that effect, Killer Instinct still does that 24-hour check, though you're promised it would go away. Now, I haven't heard from Major Nelson, I haven't heard from anybody else about whether or not that is something that we need to worry about, or whether or not it's going to be rectified, or maybe that's just the case with digital games, but it's something interesting to watch. Because we've all been worried that the Xbox One will backpedal on some of their decisions. Some of us want that. I've actually read people say that they want every install disc to make a digital-only copy game, and I can comprehend and understand that. At the same time, we don't really know what this is. We don't know whether or not this is just an artifact of the old coding for the game as they were building it. We don't know if it's a mistake. We don't know if it's on purpose. Maybe that's just the way it is with their digital copies of the games. We don't know until we get something official. I guess we're not going to know. But I really, excuse me, my apologies. I really do hope that we find out really soon. Checking for topics real quick to make sure there's anything that I wanted to cover that we have not covered. Well, one of the things we should talk about is the number of sales for the new consoles, and this is something that's very exciting to me. It looks like the Xbox One has sold very, very well in the United States, even beating the PlayStation 4 on United States soil. Worldwide, the PlayStation 4 is absolutely dominating. It's not even in a lot of countries. It just hit Asia this last week and will hit Japan, and I believe mid-January, and is actually sold out, someone said, entirely. I read an article that said the PlayStation 4 is sold out till sometime in February. That sucks. So they sold as many as they could, and it's clear that the Xbox One has sold as many as they could. So we are at a point where neither console is the loser. They've all sold over 2 million copies. They are phenomenal. They are phenomenal systems. They're both going to be supported with third-party support, first-party support. I'm so glad that this console war has turned out the way that it has. And what's really funny about all of this? Is, I'm a PC gamer. I love my PC. I play and I work on my PC. But I have found this generation of gaming to be so much more exciting, and these consoles to be so much easier to use, and quicker and faster loading times. All the things I needed that made me prefer PC otherwise. The one thing they're missing is the freedom to do just about anything I want to do, and they're missing the graphics. Certainly everything looks better on the rig that I have built in here. But that said, I'm really surprised how much I'm using my consoles. In fact, just sitting here talking about it makes me want to go in there and play something. I don't know if I'm going to play Rise tonight. I don't know if I'm going to finally pop back in Knack. I don't know if I'm going to finish Doki Doki Universe. I don't know, but I'm really surprised as a PC gamer how much I've enjoyed doing that stuff. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it too. If you're not, I hope maybe Santa Claus, or I don't know, the Hanukkah guy, if there is one, or the Kwanzaa, animal. I don't know, the Kwanzaa giant. I don't know. I don't know if there's like gift bear. I don't know if any of that was like offensive too, by the way. But I don't know if they. I don't know whether or not they will bring you a new gaming system, or if you get money for Christmas, if you're going to buy one. But I hope that you do. I hope you join this next generation. I personally still prefer my PlayStation 4, and I do recommend a PlayStation 4, but the Xbox One is phenomenal too. My good friend Remington just bought an Xbox One after demoing mine, and he really enjoys it. He is that live sports guy. He is the guy and all of his friends bought an Xbox One. Absolutely no problem with choosing one or the other. It's entirely up to you. So, I think we covered all the topics I wanted to talk to about this week. Just so you guys know, we're not going to do this again next week because of the Christmas season. I'm going to be traveling a little bit. I may do something live next week, but maybe not. I would like to do it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. I've got some videos that will come out for you next week that hopefully you will enjoy. Hanukkah is over, someone says, and I knew that Hanukkah is over. But again, maybe the Hanukkah guy comes late. I don't know. Maybe he's tired and old. I don't know. Maybe he's lazy. Maybe, I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with the freedom. And I'll leave you with this thought here before we finish everything up. A lot of people tell me happy holidays. Happy holidays. And I like that. Happy holidays. They want me to have a happy holidays. Maybe that includes Thanksgiving. Maybe that includes Christmas. Maybe it includes Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Maybe it includes New Year's. Maybe they want me to have a great New Year's too. Maybe they mean Valentine's Day. Have a happy holiday. Maybe they're talking about President's Day too. Like, let's lump them all in there. Have good holidays. Enjoy your holidays. I don't say happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you why I say it. Because I want you to have a great Christmas, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. Even if the 24th and the 25th are just 2 more days for you, I want you to have 2 really great days. And I want the rest of your holidays to suck ass. I want your New Year's to be complete shit. All right? So, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Hey guys, I'm going to wrap this up, and I may be back in a little while, and we'll just, I'll talk to subscribers a little bit, talk to you guys a little more directly. It's a little difficult to do in the new Twitch, but I'm going to end it here so that we can upload it to YouTube, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me. I'm sorry, again, because of the delay, we haven't been able to do it the way that we'd like to do it, but know that I love you very much, and I may be right back. Bye.